has put in Nigeria. Look at the resilience of the Nigerian. Look at how Nigerians are succeeding everywhere in the world, whether they left Nigeria 400 years ago or left Nigeria on a plane 50 years ago. They excel. We're at the top of the treasury in the United States. We're at the top of the World Bank. The list is very long in all the sciences and in all the arts. So the problem is not Nigerians. It is Nigeria and its constitution. The document upon which we were formed was a few soldiers who put it together and their surrogates. And that's what's supposedly holding us together. The foundation is that document. And if that foundation is faulty, what can the righteous do? We've got to go back to the foundation. The next administration must not access power until we have a veritable constitution that is truly the document of we the people.
We the people!
You hear what I'm saying to you? Anything else is a fraud. Nigeria is a scam. It's a scam, and it's perpetuated itself too long. It's time to do something about it. No politician has the right to talk to us on this matter unless they believe as we believe. On this matter, Nigeria can do better, she can get better, and she can win. We are suffering in Nigeria in our hundreds of millions, whereas we need not to. We could easily be one of the top 3 countries in the world with the kind of resources we have. And it's about time that we let the international community know that they must be partial. Don't come and tell us that you're protecting democracy. Don't come and tell us.
So, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Dotted Nation. Welcome to Mazes Oke's broadcast today being Friday, the 27th of August, 2021. It is Friday, and you know what Friday we have. It is the day we take this. So go grab yourself coffee, tea, beer, whatever it is. Grab it, anything grabbable. Make sure you get something because it's going to be explosive today. We're going to look at some things. Again, now we are in the business of when you speak the truth, you die. If you don't speak, you die. If you speak again, you might be arrested or NBC will come and find you. In this case, we hope DSS doesn't find us. But the question is, what can we do? We must keep speaking the truth, irrespective of what is happening. So everyone, welcome once more to this evening conversation with Mazi Ezoke. What you're going to do for me is very simple. Just click the like button, subscribe to this channel, let me know where you are watching from. I'm going to give 1 minute shout out to my top fans. Okay, let's get the comment section busy. But before you start commenting, before you tell me where you're watching me from, let's get the ball rolling, and please do subscribe to this channel. So Colin Sumana, who's I have someone say he's gonna get a Hennessy. Please make sure you put eyes in that Hennessy. Myself here, as usual, I have my palm wine, which is tapped specially for these Friday programs. Let me have a taste. I am happiness more. Now that I have taken a sip, I am happiness more. I have Chris Nweke from Port Harcourt, have a Blessing Egu from Jakarta, wow, Indonesia, Mamma Mia, Wafo from Ghana, from United States of America, from Malaysia, I have my spirit, that is Collins Sumana, Collins, from Sheffield, Mazi Obi Ntodonko. Wow. Obi Ntodonko. I know many people. I know Ntodonko, Mike Ntodonko from Germany, I think from Bremen or Demenhorst. Can't remember again. But, so, people, it's going to be a very interesting day. That's all I can tell us. But just for a moment, let me make sure I refuel my cup when we are also happiness in more. Be that is may, I've turned one music to my signature tune, which is the music from or by the Uzodimma of Africa, that is Charlie Boy. I love that music so much that I have virtually converted it into my signature tune, which is very interesting. So, everyone, we will start shortly. Yesterday, we saw in the news suddenly that channels TV were being told, be careful what you air. You know, the moment I heard that, be careful, something rang a bell in my brain. Bing. You remember this video? Someone telling us, be careful. Remember? When the Southern governor started this conversation about the open grazing, law. Did you hear that? Did you remember that? If you don't, let me refresh.
Is that Gandhi said, whatever you do for me without me is against me. Ask all those, whatever, 13, 15 governors that met in that hotel. Was there any of the Fulani leaders consulted? Any of the Fulani leaders consulted? So they are there making laws for people that they have not consulted. This is a problem with government. Disconnected, out of touch with realities of people. You must sit down and talk with people you are making laws for. None of that those governors have sat down with Fulani leaders in wherever they are and tell them what we're planning to do, or what we're going to do, or what alternatives are there. And then they're sitting down there and making laws.
All right.
Be careful.
You know, on this note, and this thing stopped with be careful. Be careful. And I'm like, whoo. Now we need to panic, is it? Be careful. Or else, Akbarakbo isn't. Akbarakbo I'll blow your mouth, is it? Okay, that's on one plank. On the other plank, before I get into the comment regarding Buhari, I started thinking, since last night, I watched a video of the governor of Imo State. And I placed it together with this video that we just watched. I placed it again when the governor makes some comments that sometimes I think, as someone who ought to be a leader of a people, there are some statements I would never expect him to say. I know some of you watch me and say, oh, yeah, Mazi is being politically correct. Yes, because you are not me. You don't travel as I do. Obviously, I need my liberty to be traveling. Of what use would I be just to be bombastic and I say certain things and DSS jumps my fence and that's it? Your liberty is needed in order for you to continue the struggle. And in saying that this evening, when I watched the governor, there are some things he said. Even previously, I mean, I've told a couple of my friends in private, I said, especially when Imo State was bombarded, one of the worst press conference I ever listened to a governor say was one, I think, Olo, and he came out after meeting the president and said, well, I went to Buhari to request this, to make this at Aga. Diochi arakosi fofu nenunku. May the ancestors bless you. You're a good tapa. May your ete never sleep, and may you never fall from the palm tree and touch the ground. Before many of you will think I speak in abstract, I would want you to watch this clip with me. So maybe it's going to...
Anti-grazing.
Hey, I never said go now, you dey go. You won't run faster than me. Huh? Waiting. because you were, let me not say it before DSS will come now. Anyway, so everyone, welcome once more. So, but when this governor said these following things, it really got me thinking. Listen.
Anti-grazing law. I don't have any law in Imo State for anti-grazing.
I do not have any law in Imo State for anti-grazing. Many people have called me, and some of you have responded to your messages. Said, Mas, what's your take on this video? And I must be honest here, because this is for me about the protection of lives and properties of my people, especially the people of southern Nigeria. To say that allowing cows to move on foot is a cake. It's absurd. It's not needed in a 21st century. Therefore, when I hear the governor make such statement, it really gets me thinking, what manner of people are you dealing with? And I keep wondering, why would he actually, things will begin to happen. You begin to read meaning into it. Now, let's do something. Let me, this just came to me. Sorry, let's do this. Let me quickly search something. Southern governors, but so okay, no, Southern governors ban on open grazing. Let's do something. Let us actually look at pictures of those who attended that meeting. It might begin to make sense to us that there are things happening that we didn't pay enough attention. I'm going to come back to that video, but I want us to get somewhere, because now the moment I had I read this, I started thinking, and in thinking, the following began to be very clear to me. Please pardon me, because I do a lot of things I do here, evidence based. These things are not driven by emotions, these are hardcore evidence. Okay. So I want to quickly see if my system doesn't really, kind of freeze. Let me quickly see if I can get my desktop quickly. Okay, so I want us to join me in this journey. So you're looking at my desktop now. I hope you can see my desktop, right? So let me enlarge it. Let me make it big. So I hope you can see what I have searched. It's on the top there. This is no skyrocket science. You can do this yourself. Now, I searched Southern governors ban open grazing. Why? Because I want to look at the picture of those that attended these meetings. I can see here Southern governors ban open grazing. I can see Okowa. I can see Ekiti State governor. Ekiti, yeah, Fayemi. I can see Akirodoru. But let's look at the 17 Southern governors. Okay, let me make the picture big. Come on, why are you taking me to? Okay, but well, the picture suddenly for some reason disappeared. But let me quickly read this. Right, this is this. Of the 17 southern states, 13 governors were in attendance at the meeting. They are Governor Okowa Delta, Dr. Kayode Fayemi Ekiti, Yeson Wike Rivers, Godwin Obaseki Edo, Dakbo Abiodun Ogun, blah, 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 yeah, Sonwo-Olu Lagos. Okay. So now the rest are here. Others are Diri of Bayelsa, Okezikpaso of Abia, Ifeanyi Okowa of Enugu, Rotimi Aklodoro of Ondo, David Umahe of Ebonyi, Willie Obiano of Abia State. Imo and Akwa Ibom were represented by their deputy governors, while Osun and Cross River states were absent. I hope you are getting the gist of where I'm heading to. Now, let me go back to, go back to the picture, okay? For some reason, okay. So now, if you look at these pictures again, let me quickly see if I can open one of them. Obviously, for me to do that, I probably have to stop. Anyway, hold on. So in this picture, I have to stop and reshare, sorry, so that I can share the picture. But here, what I've shown you, if you look at this picture that I have basically shown to us here, all these pictures, there is one thing that is very clear in these pictures. There is nowhere that we saw Hope Uzodimma. Now, I thought maybe, because there were about 3 other governors that didn't attend. At that point, I thought maybe, it could be someone being busy, whatever. I never read so much meaning into it. But watching this video, I bring it back again. Watching this video, I let that whole video play. But watching this video really got me thinking. You know what, people? I would allow the whole and the full
Anti-Grazing
to play. Hold on.
law. I don't.
So, people, let me allow the whole length of the video to play. Then I will make my comments then thereafter.
Anti-Grazing law. I don't have any law in Imo State for anti-grazing. But what we have done, we are regulating grazing activities in Imo State under a partnership between our farmers and our headers. They signed an MOU in my office and they agreed to work together. And both parties are going about their businesses without interfering or causing any grievance or anger to each other. The Southeast Leadership Organization, the PAN organization that is in charge of both our cultural and social activities, the Ohaneze Ndibo. So I don't want to speak for them, but I know in Imo State, there's only one governor, and only the governor can order, working with other members of the government, that people should sit at home and it will be obeyed. I don't want to sit here and recognize that there's any order outside the government of Imo State, because there's a government. IPOB is not the government in Imo State. The Imo State government has not authorized any sit at home. And like I did say here a few minutes ago, in Imo State, people are going about their businesses, workers are going to work, and normal business activities are on. And for now, I told you that Imo State is relatively calm. Before the end of last league period, we even had a football match between Heartland and Adamawa Football Club in the night at Danayam Stadium. And people witnessed it all over the world. That will tell you the extent of friendliness and the good environment for businesses in Imo State. That 2 big clubs like that played a football match in the night. And our people went to watch the match and got home without anybody molesting them. Yeah, the business of government, is the protection of lives and property. And we must act as a government and live up to the responsibilities of our government. So we try to maintain law and order and condemn illegal and criminal activities and make those who are apprehended to face the law. So I think that with the political will and cooperation of our people, particularly our traditional leaders and our traditional rulers, we've been able to a reasonable extent, manage control of criminality and illegality in Imo State. Recall that at the height of this incident, the prison yard, the correctional center facility in Owerri was broken. All the suspects and the prisoners escaped. Some of them are still at the fringes, doing what they know how to do, while government is also working hard to do what they are supposed to do. So in no small time, I'm sure and almost certain that life will return, normalcy will return completely, 100% to Imo State.
So, people, you look at this now. You've obviously listened to this. I mean, it goes on and on and on and on and talk about other things. But I need to take the key point. I need to take the key point and break it down. The things he has said, that the farmers and the headers signed MOU in his office, and I'm like, which planet am I in now? Did I just land in this planet last night? Which planet is this? How come you're talking about signing MOU? Whereas what is needed is a legal document that should come from the legislature, an arm of government that is tasked. You see, sorry, Imo State. This is beyond your governor now. I think if you're listening to me and you're from Imo State and you're from the Imo State House of Assembly, the anger when it starts is not going to be on your governor, it's going to be on you. What the people of Imo State want from you is to say, we are joining every other state in southern Nigeria, 17 of them, to get this law passed. If the assembly in Imo State, if you pass this law, throw that bone for the dog, leave the spiritual battle alone, the dog will deal with it. Because it is your duty. You must, you are failing. Some, on a second thought, I actually thought to myself, why even get angry at the governor? Is it his duty to enact any law? The issue here is, irrespective of what the governor say, irrespective of any MOU signed in his office, what is needed is that the state assembly, 1st of September is by Monday, isn't it? Somebody asked me, I said, well, I know nothing. But let's wait till Monday. So let's see if the men and women we have in Imo State House of Assembly, if they have any gray matters in between their skulls. If they do, before Monday or by Monday, they would have done the needful. Let it be on record, because that is the only way you can redeem yourself. Let it be on record that Imo State passed this law and it is on the table of the governor, and the governor does not want it to be signed, or the governor doesn't want it signed into law. Let that be the case. But if I go by what the executive governor is saying, I can only say, well, that is not within his remit. He actually has no locus to even make that statement, because he is not the one making laws. So but those that have the responsibilities of making laws, if they fail to make the law, then I think you and I, especially in Imo, you owe it. It is your responsibility to join every other state in southern Nigeria to demand that they do like every other state. If that is not done, any day Malu enter your farm, you have no right to cry, because you would have done what you ought to do by demanding that those you have ceded your right for them to run with it, that they must do the right thing they ought to do. Again, before I leave us with this, listen to that again.
Anti-grazing law. I don't have any law in Imo State for anti-grazing. But what
I don't have any law in Imo State for anti-grazing. This statement is an indictment to the Imo State House of Assembly. I am not blaming, in fact, I think I will stop blaming the governor on this one. Let us call a spade a shovel, because that's what we know. Call a spade a shovel. That's the one we know. Who has the responsibility? Again, in context, because I'm trying to make sense of this. Context here. I play this again.
Anti-grazing law. I don't have any law in Imo State for anti-grazing.
I do not have any law in Imo State for anti-grazing, meaning those saddled with the responsibilities of making these laws have done absolute nothing. They've done jack all. They have done nothing. Therefore, we must find a way to ensure that they do their job. It's just like when you talk about restructuring, Buhari will say, oh, if you want to restructure, go to the National Assembly. These are layers of governance. National Assembly, State Assembly. So if you want anything done, you go to the State Assembly. I think the Imo State Assembly, Imo, Ebeo. Emelu, I closed my mouth until Monday. Don't worry, I have a live broadcast on Monday. I closed my mouth until Monday. You know, I don't want to jump the gun. I close my mouth until Monday. Thank you very much, Joyce A, for the super chat. Again, people, this is end of the month. That is when to pay your tithe. That's actually last Friday of the month. Bingo. So, people, pay your tithe. Subscribe to this channel. Share. Super chat. Now, some of you are saying Supreme Court. Some of you should respect your elders. Some of you are right in saying Supreme Court. Some of you say aeroplane drivers. I never knew they can drive aeroplane, no. But, you know, so let's see what is happening. Now, there is this video that I have made round. Honestly, I want to move away from Hope Uzodimma now. I'm moving away from him. There is this video that made round, and I think Njenje Media also shared it. Honorable Uche Onyagwocha, I think, he made a statement. He basically yesterday delivered what I call punchline. He said that Buhari is actually that which he's trying Nnamdi Kanu and the Igboho on, that he is a culprit. And come to think of it, I think I've said it multiple times here. In 1983, a man who waylaid and took away a legitimate, elected government and imposed themselves. You know, if it's military if it's military to military, it's arguable. I mean, no one gave you the legitimacy. So it's illegality removing illegality. So it's actually mathematics. Some of you who have done maths and now go further to do further maths, it could be called the illegitimacy squared. The way we have in Imo State, Iberiberism squared. Sorry. Iberiberism raised to power 2. That's what we see now. So in the case of Buhari on his own, according to Onyagwocha, that Buhari is actually has no moral locus to prosecute those who probably emulating him, quote unquote. Okay, let me find the video. And while I'm getting the video, and you guys would also know that there has been a lot of decamping going up and down. You know, decamping. This one goes from A to B. A lot of political realignment going on. I would also remind us that 2 years ago, the 2 years ago, the APC national chairman, Adams Oshomola, the khaki wearing comrade, and the Viagra mounted Edo born ex, you know, and the first skin loving person. Mel Mo, thank you very much. I love the love this evening. Regina Roberts, vielen Dank für die Unterhaltung. Du bist der Beste. Danke. Du auch. Ne? Wie geht's euch, Leute? Die Leute aus Deutschland, Österreich und wo noch? Ne? My question to you is MOU of Uzodimma and Buhari APC swearing. Let me take your question. My question to you is this MOU and APC swearing in with the Constitution and turn it now, which one bad pass? Well, you can make up your mind which one bad pass. But the bottom line is that this guy said the following. In fact, many of you, after watching this, have been saying this guy is the best because he said that thing which you are thinking. And that is what it means in communication. In communication, one doesn't need to be insultive or so vivacious. You could say something that will still make you free. Well, we even come to a point. We even come to the topic where the reaction of what happened yesterday in channels. When Channels TV, there was this fake news saying that Ufo or Uso and the presenters that they were arrested, blah blah blah. No, they were only invited, but invitation in Nigerian context. It means, if you watch the video, you understand more. It means after the invitation, no longer do that again. Just like me, if DSS invites me after the invitation, and they maybe give you a little electric shock in your suit, afterwards they will tell you mind your language. Like many of you in London, where you hear mind the gap. So, but let's listen to Onyagwocha first.
I don't know which legal advisor advises. The Land Use Act is superior to whatever you have had in the past because it's part of the Constitution.
It's the same thing I've been saying here. The Land Use Act actually surpasses whatever the president thinks he's doing. I think, and that's why I think the solution remains collective South. Solution, I repeat, remains collective South. Solution is not Oduduwa. Solution is not Biafra. It's not Igbo Nation. It's not Middle Belt Republic. It's not. Solution is collective South. You know why? It's an equal and opposing force. If not, you have a repeat of 1967, where you will be looked at, okay, let's use all the forces. Many of you say it now in the Middle Belt. The Middle Belt, sadly, that they are undergoing what they are undergoing now. But remember, when push came to shove in 1967, they were used to subdue the eastern region. In Igbo, we say, you cannot shoot the arrow and it lands the same place. Shoot again, it lands the same place. It shoots again. No, it's not that. The whole shooting range is not meant for that sport. Therefore, we must apply different strategy. The strategy now that I can see makes sense to me is one, the strategy of alliance and the strategy of collective South. Look how it's playing out. eventually, if the people of Imo State do the right thing that they ought to do, you will see a collective that is only ba 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 that you hear from the other side, because there is nothing. From Monday, I have my this thing here. I'll ask the tapper to do more. So if you get the order from Monday, barbecue might be anything that we see walking on the street. It might be barbecued. And some of you here are beginning to donate, are promised to donate ketchup or chili hot or whatever you're donating. But in this case, as this man said here, the president in his finding grazing route. I mean, just the absurdity alone makes your mind sick. Finding grazing route. What are you finding? Finding grazing route. You do not have the right to, because the law have put land in the hands of the governors. Punct. Pronto. Kind commentator.
Land reserves. I don't know which legal advisor advises.
Aeroplane driver.
The Land Use Act is superior to whatever you have had in the past because it's part of the Constitution. Every land in any state now belongs to the governor.
Exactly. But there is one thing that I found a little bit irritating in this video. This man was saying something very, very serious. I do understand that sometimes when presentations are made, you can infuse jokes in it, in order to diffuse serious issues so that people do not get overly emotional or, concentrate too much in order to cause health challenges to themselves. But that the people, while he was saying this, were actually laughing. And I'm like, freaking hell, what's wrong with you guys? This is not a laughing matter. This is something freaking serious. Christian Biko, thank you very much for that super chat. NOK, I don't even know which currency that is. But nonetheless, thank you very much for that. I appreciate that deeply. I appreciate that. Thanks for paying your tithe.
Mr. President, you can't give out any. Autumn has the right to decide who gets any land however he wants. And if he says he won't give anyone for ranching, sir, so be it. And there's nothing anybody can do about it. Besides,
nothing.
Cattle rearing is a private business. Like vulcanizer, like carpenter, like tailoring, and it must be treated as such. I think, therefore, that we must be very tolerant of each other and we must respect each other's right to disagree, including this right of self-determination. And our leaders must learn to go back and apologize for things they have done in the past that remain offensive to the people. And this is where I'll conclude. Gowon must apologize for the 20 pounds economic strangulation policy of his government against the people of Biafra at the end of the Civil War. Buhari must apologize for the military coup of 31st December 1983.
Did you hear that? They must apologize for declaring war, the 20 pounds policy. They must apologize on the military coup. Well, it was a criminal. It's just that Nigerians, our brains sometimes. I wouldn't be if what's it called? If Babangida was still able and fit, walking on his two legs, to 2023, you people will probably still go and bring him back. Oh, he is the Messiah. Because what? Because he's giving some of you crumbs.
In fact, that coup of 1983 was an act of treason. Yes. Which is still punishable because a criminal offense is punishable at all times. So it is not proper that somebody who has already committed treason before all Nigerians by overthrowing a popularly elected, a democratically elected government is turning around to go and harass Nnamdi Kanu and the Igbo, and is trying to charge them for treason. So you abduct him from Kenya, you want to try him for treason when you committed your own here in Abuja, in Lagos. So the truth is that we must have to deal with this. Babangida must apologize for the cancellation of the June 12 presidential election. Shonekon must stop parading himself as an ex-head of interim national government because a competent of the court.
That wasn't funny, people. I don't know why people are laughing. It's a serious term. It's just that, when I had my interview with Charles Oputa, I reminded Charles Oputa, Charlie Boy, that when his father was the head of Oputa panel, his panel made a recommendation that anyone who was former head of military junta should never be allowed to hold any political office in Nigeria. He agreed. His father, late Professor Chukwudifo Oputa, SAN, he warned us. His son, with his music, he warned us. Yet our mumu went overdrive and we returned them. Now everybody is crying. What we now hear, Nigerian GDP has grown by 5%. I don't know if the money in your pocket has grown by 5%. Mine has grown minus 50, 60% or even more. Unbelievable.
Of competent jurisdiction has declared his government as illegal, null, void, and of no effect since, and the man still attends Council of State. Obasanjo must apologize for bribing members of the National Assembly to the tune of 50 million naira each for them to give him support for third term. Because these people cannot continue to parade as statesmen when they have done very heinous things for weeks.
So people, you've heard it from him. That's the secretary to the state government of Imo State under Ihedioha. He's good. This Uche Onyagwacha, he's good in oratory. I remember there is a video, Google his name, in 2016, a video he made and made case for APC. If you listen to that video, you will never in your lifetime think that this man standing saying these things would ever decamp. But sadly, eventually he went to PDP when irresistible offer was made to him. That he went to APC does not remove, or rather went to PDP does not remove anything that he says. Listen, it's just that anyone that bothers himself, whether you are in party A or in party B, it's the same thing. There is no difference between PDP and APC. It's like 6 and half a dozen. At the end of the day, in my worldview, that's what they are. Because if you think I am kidding you, now watch the former party chairman, the khaki wearing Oshomola, when he was telling people that irrespective of what you have done, even if you have stolen, because I had to bring this thing yesterday on someone who was telling me, I say, it's good, Anambra State is going to be for APC, and Stella Odua has decamped. This person has done this, like mad people. Does it make any sense? Does it make any difference? Whether you're APC or PDP, doesn't matter. By the way, as they say, if you join the APC, your sins will be forgiven. So if you have stolen, that's what it means. Your sins will be forgiven. And you can basically go do whatever you want to do. Listen.
Irobe means I don't do bad. And if I once you have joined APC, all your sins are forgiven. Once you have joined APC, all your sins are forgiven. All your sins are forgiven. All your sins are forgiven.
So when you talk about apology, obviously you heard Oshomola say that. When you talk about apology is, apology is unending, because many of you would agree that what happened in Odi what happened in Zakibian. It's just that today we have more we are more connected. Every telephone you have is now a camera of its own, so we see more. If not, what has been happening in Birum, in Jos, in Plateau, it's since 80s. It's been a reoccurring decimal that people have been massacred. But at least in real time now that we saw two days ago in Jos, people now take those corpses and now take them to the doors and in the front entrance of the government house and just drop them there and say, like Fela did during the time of during the military era when the mom was killed, and he took the coffin, say coffin for head of state, and very courageous. So when you juxtapose that to what is happening today, you see that there is no change. And this madness cuts across every single African nation. It's not only a Nigerian problem. It's not only a Nigerian problem because, there is this, I think there was a CNN reporter asking an Ugandan minister a question, and the way he was responding to him and said, "Be careful, you're an African." And this is on a live TV show. He was even there threatening him. It's called Larry Madowo. He was threatening him. So you see the type of thing you will hear. Remember the conversation Adiola of Sahara Reporters then when she was with Sahara and the Doyin Yokube had. When Adiola was asking Doyin, what of railway? And Doyin was just like mumuyishly saying, we can't afford new rail. But the same man saying that we cannot afford brand new train coaches, drives brand new cars, lives in brand new houses. But when it comes to public service, no, we must make do with that little that you have given us. See this video, you understand what I mean. You know that Africa has fundamental issues, and we have
free in Uganda, and yet you, as in.
So this is okay. Like I said before, this is just a simple interview, but this interview ballooned into something else. Before I play that video again, please, if you're joining me now, please do me a favor. I am still Mazezuka, and this is Friday Hangout with me. On this Friday Hangout, we have fun, we talk to each other. Eventually, the telephone lines will be open. You have your say. You have your say. Please subscribe to this channel if you haven't. Share this video with others if you haven't. And use the super chat for those of you who are on Facebook, please. If you may, if you want to, that will be much appreciated. So let's listen to this conversation once.
You said that everybody is free in Uganda, and yet you, as Internal Affairs Minister, in March, presented a list to Parliament of 177 people who are under military detention. And later, President Museveni said at least 50 people had been arrested for treasonable acts of opposition. Is this the sign of freedom to you?
Larry, let me first of all congratulate you for the good job at the CNN and actually for finding a suit that looks like mine.
Now, you think I'm kidding you. You think you didn't hear that live. What a minister is saying on an global audience, saying to the global audience as if he's in a comedy show, is thank you for blah, 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 and thank you for finding the color of my suit. Imagine that a reporter speaking to CNN, all you can first of all talk about is to talk about your suit. Listen to that again.
Good job at the CNN, and actually for finding a suit that looks like mine. You are doing a good job. But I would like to remind you where you come from. You are just from here, Kenya. Okay? And where you come from, you don't ask such questions to the government. So I will give you another chance, Larry, and please rephrase your question and ask with a bit of decorum now, knowing that you're addressing a government official.
What do you consider treasonous acts? Is it being part of the opposition? A treasonous act is organizing to try and bailed an alternative government to that of President Museveni a treasonous act, is opposing President Museveni a treasonous act?
Larry, you are insisting on the issue of treasonous, and I would like to get done with it. One, the government had said categorically that there are places that are meant to be tree zones. And so when people went...
At this point, when I heard the madness of treason, I thought to myself, I mean, I don't think this is real. I think this is comedy. Come on.
Into the tree zones, they were known as treasoners. And now when we say that the people have committed treasonous acts, it means that they have gone and actually invaded the tree zones. And there's nothing wrong with the government saying that people have invaded the tree zones. And I don't see how the treasoners are affecting the coming of the Afghanistan refugees here in Uganda. And Larry, I want to remind you again that when a verb comes before a noun and the pronoun, and the verb is a product of the noun that comes before the adverb, then it means that the proverb is also a pronoun and a product of the noun that comes before it. So the treasonous issues...
Sorry. Sorry, pardon me, but I think at some point I thought to myself, no, this must be very, this must be comedy, because I don't understand why anyway, at least he has made my day now. As it is, I am happiness more.
All right. Have you voted?
I'm voted, yeah.
Okay,
I'm happiness, I'm voted, yeah.
Tell me your feeling after voting today.
Yeah, after voting, I'm feeling okay. What I want, I get it on the result. I'm getting the party I want is the one going on. Thank you for that.
What are you expecting from these people you voted?
I'm voted, they can do what you want, and then when they want, what they want, inshallah, we're happiness more.
You know, if when I am happiness more, I do like a Nigerian job when there is nothing, the economy is too like this, it's too like this.
Somebody will suffer from primary, secondary to the tertiary education, coming out, having no job to do. And now, people, 3 million people apply in only 10,000. And now, budget office, they plan to reduce it to 5,000.
Our economic is doing like this. It's doing like this. It's blinking, shaking. So, if not, it's because of this.
So, I hope after watching this, you're not blinking, shaking. But if you're blinking, shaking, let your pocket blink and shake. Let your pocket blink and shake. Okay? Or, actually, you know, when I listen to Hope Uzodimma and eventually Adam Soshomole, what I thought to myself was, lie, we are in the past. And with these headsmen, we are in the past also. But when I now heard that Buhari committed treason, I say, in fact, we have gone to the participle. We have gone.
You will be a past participant. Yeah. Hey! Ebu agomia. One day we go. Say yesterday you are a past. So very soon you shall be past. Party. One day, say tickle. One nana so you ba na ebuli. On a meko.
I think now, yesterday you were past with the grazing route. You know, yesterday when we started, we started talking about anti-open grazing. That was past. But we got to a point where we started talking grazing route. That was also past. But instead of past test, we now gone into tickle. So it's past tickle. Oh dear. Oh, people. So I hope your happiness more. Because if not, what will you do? You know, if they come after you, what can you do? Even sometimes if you don't know your name, is it Oga, our Oga that you will have to ask? Eh? If you ask him, he will tell you he doesn't know. If he tells you he doesn't know, what? Okay, if I say, let me bring the president now and say, Mr. President, what do you think about the Nigerian today? Oga Buhari, tell
The
us.
government has failed to do its principal duty of protecting life or property of all beings inside its territory in Nigeria.
Especially, you're talking about inside this territory, especially the people of the Middle Belt. The government has failed. Not me talk about Ghana, you use your mouth to talk and say the government has failed to protect lives and properties inside this territory. The government have failed to protect lives and properties. Is you? Or do you want us to ask Ogalai Mohammed and see what he
when my 7-year-old grandson called me and said, Grandpa, tell me the truth. Why did they call you Liar Mohammed? I looked at him. What do you say to a 7-year-old son? How do you explain politics to him? So I said, no, don't mind them.
So don't mind us. It's good. We should not be, don't mind us. What do we know? All we know is that whether we're blind, whether we they see, whether we our head no correct, one thing we know is that things are not working out. It's as simple as that. Things are not working out. Simple. Things are not working out. Everyone is hurting. Madness, the level of, someone yesterday shared a clip that I found a little bit somewhat insulting. Yeah, I remember there was a time United Nations building was bombed and so what. Well, I remember there was a time FAB Plaza was and so what. We or those that elected this government elected the government for the government to bring solutions to these issues, not to make comparison, because if you wanted comparison, you could have left it with the same government that was able to clear before the election, clear the whole most of the states within the Northeast where these idiot terrorists held sway. You came in to give us succor. We were told $214, 214 naira to $1 was unacceptable. But today, 500 plus is acceptable. Who does that? How do you marry the two together? How do you marry the two together? So before I open the telephone line, we'll talk about, the discussion is going to be the anti-open grazing bill and the actions of the governors that's supposed to happen next week. Before we get into that, let's now look at the story of Channels that was, it was rumored that Channels was invited. Now, they did not give official statement, but again, part of analysis is that if you're able to do content analysis and read people's body language, read people's language. This is Uso, right? Now, watch his body language when he was thanking people that stood with him. Because one thing that happened yesterday, the moment this story broke out that they were arrested, a lot of people went on Twitter tweeting. I think eventually it turned out that they were not arrested, but at least they were invited to explain why they did not drill down on some of these questions. When Governor Tom made those comments, why they didn't take him on that and drill down. I mean, there was nothing. If you ask me, I would say there was nothing actually to drill down on. What Autumn said was, I've been shut out from seeing Mr. President. Mr. President doesn't want to see me. Mr. President has a preset mind to implement this in favor of his people. If someone is saying, I think Mr. President has a preset mind, what else do you want me to say? Am I, is he, or rather, am I a presidential, am I Buhari's mind reader? He has told you what it's, you know, the thing revolves around him. If the assertion was wrong, it is his own package. He owns it. If the assertions were incisive, it is his as well to own, so not mine. So this question of, oh, they didn't drive, they should have done professional. I think these guys, that they, honestly, they were professional enough. They were professional. Now see his body language to say that there was something, there were some difficult conversations that they held with the Nigerian Communication Commission that they did not want to make public. Watch.
They want our flag to be hoisted and flying high. And that was why, from what we saw yesterday, I mean, just as Kaide said, so many things that were gleaned from a lot of what transpired yesterday, part of which is that, look, the thing is, many of you want this country to take its pride of place in the Committee of Nations. Now, we may not agree to do things the same way, and there's nothing wrong with that because it's supposed to be a democracy. Ideas have got to contend, but you know, we don't need to forget that whatever approach you decide to adopt, we have
suddenly something is breaking
to have a country, and we need to keep working together to achieve our goals.
Now, you see that? Watch the demo. We need to keep working together to achieve our goals.
You know,
basically said a lot without saying anything.
Eternal vigilance is the price of freedom. You know, our colleagues, journalists across board, we can't thank them all enough. We can't thank you enough. Much.
You know, now he's thanking those that actually stood by, those that tweeted, those that called them, saying what is happening.
In trying to ensure, ask questions about what's happening, how could things have happened this way. Look, it's part of the theories.
How could things have happened this way? Meaning that something happened in certain way. How could things have happened? I mean, because meaning that what happened yesterday was not normal. It was abnormal. Hence, people calling them. I'm not saying this. I didn't, in as much as I know they were not handcuffed. They did, you know, they weren't taken. But I know that there were some uncomfortable communication and conversations that took place. That's what I'm reading from his statements.
Of communication. When you have third-party information, you put some of those things out there. So channel noise may come into play at some point in time. So just this technical jargon. But you know,
channel noise will come into play. I mean, that's not technical jargon. I think we understand what you mean by that. That's the decibel of your channel in this case.
As they say, this too shall pass. So, and you know,
is he hear that he suddenly became philosophical? These too shall pass, meaning it appears that they are kind of placed on probation. You know, when something happens and say, okay, we are giving you a second chance. If you do not, if within this period, if something like this happens again, that's it, you are off. And now he's saying they believe that these probation to these, you know, sniffing, if you may call it that way, too shall pass.
I'd like to say, God bless you all, God bless Nigeria. And we'll keep doing what we have to do as professionally possible as we can. So we thank you all once again for the love, the concern that you all showed. And it does show us that together we can indeed build a country that everybody will be proud of. And we need to keep working towards that. All right, that's it. We'll just take you through how...
You can see how uncomfortable. I mean, these are guys that are so fluent when they're making presentation. I mean, I understand, if you've been doing this, you know how these things work. If they have teleprompters there, these guys flow. But suddenly, one is beginning to even try to think a lot, regurgitate a lot within your listening before you even say anything, because you don't want to overstep your bound. You don't want to say things that suddenly again somebody rings you. Oh, but we warned you yesterday not to say these things again. Why did you say them again? Now, if you want to make any contribution, the number to call is +234-708-0042206. So please, before you start saying where is the number, look at the screen. The number is on the screen. WhatsApp number only. I will give another 15 minutes or thereabout to take your calls. But the bottom line remains that something, absolutely something is off. Honestly, I will take some of your comments and while the calls are coming in. And I think there is a comment here that I actually want to respond to. Where is that comment again? Yes, Olatunji. Okay, this comment, I have a first call already. Ezudo is already calling. Ezudo, hold on, please. Let me take this comment first. It says, sir, do not forget the PDP political party were in power for 16 years, yet they cannot defeat Boko Haram. Now, question two is, yes, I am aware that PDP was in power for 16 years. Yes, I'm also aware that the same PDP that was in power for 16 years has moved over to another place, and those that were in opposition. So everything is now mixed. It will be very unfair now to say PDP governed for 16 years, whereas the same people that governed for 16 years are still governing. So what's the difference? It's just like, it's so funny when you listen to like the Minister of Transportation, Rotimi Amechi, saying PDP was in power for 16 years. What did they do? Were you not in power for 16 years? So what did you do? So let me take the first caller here. Mr. Caller, where are you calling from? Hello, where are you calling from? Okay.
Dallas, Texas.
So what's the name?
Eze.
Okay.
Maz, first of all, let me take on the issue of Selodua, the campaign from PDP to APC. I think what is happening is, recently, the EFCC bring issue of Selodua of misappropriation of funds during the time he was aviation minister. So there's no other thing that he can do as he just play they said that Oshowel said when he was a chairman that no matter how sin you have committed, once you join APC, your sin will be forgiven you. So Selodua, there's nothing that he can do. Even if we check on the picture that he snapped with the governor of Imo State and Andoba, you will see how he's looking. He's not happy snapping that picture. You look at him properly, you will see that she's not happy. She was frustrated. So under duress, she jumped to ABC so that her sin will be forgiven her. So that is what is playing out there. She have joined the party so that her sin will be forgiven her. Then, but the problem that I'm trying to find out is what the governor of Imo State is trying to do in the Southeast. We have really know that he was planted there by the Fulanis. So I don't know what he's trying to achieve by going against the agreement that he made with the Southern governors. But my question is this: has Anambra State passed the bill, Imo, Abia State, Enugu State, and Ebonyi? I don't know if this race forced other states in the Southeast. What are they doing on the open grazing?
That's what
state we already knows what is going on there. But let us see the game that is trying to play.
Well, that's part of the thing I said. I said we say in Igbo, "Ngwugwu tata baruli ite ambo." What will happen is that it's a question of 3 days max. So we'll leave it by Monday. We will have list of those that have passed it as of Monday. Then it will, I mean, it will be very clear. I will be live here. Join me that Monday. It will be, these are the states, these are the states that haven't. But one thing we have to also know is, like I said, my anger is no longer with the executive governors. My anger is with the state assemblies. Someone said, yeah, the governors control the state assemblies. I say, yeah. The governors also go follow them to the other room as well in their houses. What manner of rubbish is that? The governors control them to the point that they will now abdicate their duties that they owe those that have elected them. People, let's wait to whichever day. Sorry, pardon me. I think I've been corrected. Monday, hold on. Monday is, let me quickly check my calendar here. Monday is 30th. So the D date is Wednesday. Sorry, my mistake. I apologize sincerely. The D date is Wednesday. So on Wednesday we will see. Thank you very much, Eze, for calling. Thank you.
All right, Master.
Thank you. So we will have, again, you can ring in and make your contribution. Thank you very much for Onyenimo. Thank you for that correction there. It's not Monday, but Wednesday. Okay. So obviously we still have 3 working days for those of them that probably are watching now, and those of them that will see the anger of the people. Again, let's pretend that what the Imo State governor said is absolute jacko, is absolute nonsense. Let's just pretend that he just basically, in a vivacious way, made comment that is only known to him. Let's pretend that no decision has been taken in Imo State until Wednesday, when the roll call will be taken to say who are those for and who are those against the people. So I had a caller that obviously called in while I was in another call. Okay, now I have another caller. Yeah, caller, good evening. Who am I speaking to? Oh, sorry. Okay, he dropped. Caller, who am I speaking to?
Hello.
Yeah, hello, good evening. Who am I speaking to?
You are speaking with Austin from Italy.
Austin, good evening. Buongiorno.
Buongiorno, no buongiorno, buonasera.
Buonasera.
So,
Go ahead.
You see, in that Nigeria we are looking on, is already failed. So, the issue now is that the South governors, they are wasting time. They are delaying.
How?
Because, why? Because the open grazing that they are speaking about ever since, there is no time to talk about those things, because they are killing people. With wasting of time, many things would happen. Some evil mind will come to them. You understand? No one. Sometimes now, Uzodimma, who I used to call him, have go and meet
Sorry, who?
Buhari. Pardon?
You say who?
Uzodimma is what I call him, governor of Imo State.
Yeah, is he from the Niger Delta? What you're talking about Niger Delta, and you moved to Uzodimma. So how have the Niger Delta go?
He went to Buhari and tell him everything that everything in Imo State, he have settled everything between the crisis between herdsmen and the farmers. You understand? So he will come and give that mind to other South governors. So
No, hold on. Are you getting me confused? How is Uzodimma, who is a southeastern governor, How is he going to leave Southeast and go to South-South? Are you aware that some state in the South-South, like Rivers State, has already passed it into law, even signed it by Wike himself? Are you aware of that since 2 weeks ago?
Yes, I saw it.
Exactly. So why are you talking about South? Uzodimma going to South-South? I mean, are you privileged to some information we don't?
I'm afraid of some Nigeria's governors because they don't used to act fast. They don't used to act people who is in power. Because as for me, if I'm in power, as Buhari is in power, nobody can control him. He controls government power. So in state government power, they have to get their own power, action power. When they speak, they implement everything they talk about.
Okay.
There's no need of wasting time.
That's fine. Thank you very much for your call. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. So, okay. Well, yeah, it's you know, it's a tough one, so to say. It's a tough one. I have another caller. Yeah, hello, good evening. Who am I speaking to? Where are you calling from?
My name is Idris. Yeah, my name is Idris.
Go ahead.
I'm calling from Ireland. Can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear.
Yeah. You see, I've been thinking right from the handshake from the west to the east, that somebody who is gonna try to run for presidency might try to derail the handshake from the west to the east, which has never happened. It sent a shocking wave to the north, because you always hear the Northern Governor Forum, even some northern people came to criticize the handshake, which means that brought the whole South, Southwest, Southeast together, and they all formulate one. Not before independence and not after independence. This has come, and so the North re-strategize their plan. I said the only thing is we only need one insider to deviate their plan.
No, how?
And if this,
listen, what's okay? Hold on. Let's put perspective to this conversation. If by any chance, let's say 16 states in the south does open grazing, and Imo State says they won't, what do you think will happen? Very simple. Listen, Imo State is bordered by so many states. Imo State is bordered by Anambra, Rivers, Abia, and Enugu. So 4 states in one. What it means, I think partly Ebonyi, partly Ebonyi. Easy, no, it's not easy. Towards Okigwe. Okay, so let's say a state that is bordered by 5 states decides not to play ball. What's going to happen? It's like someone shielded. So what is going to do? Exactly. So what is going to do? If every other person says you cannot move cow, so if Anambra is not going to allow you move cow from Sokoto into Anambra to go to Imo State, so eventually, actually, when you want to look at it, I think it's something on the fringe that owns. It's just that apart from that collective, this.
Let me tell you something. The end game of these people is to destabilize the South.
I understand, but you see, one state is not, in my view, is not enough to destabilize the entire South. That's my argument.
Okay, I accept your argument, but it only took Jesus. It only took Judas
to derail the whole idea of Jesus Christ.
No, that one, Organo go there because that one was already planned before Jesus was born. So, no, that's what the Bible tells us. Thank you. Let me take another caller. Thank you. That one was already. Thank you. Yeah. Okay. So sorry. The caller. I think you have to call back again. Sadly, I don't know what happened. The call didn't go. I mean, I'm beginning to think, the more we have these conversations, the more I'm actually thinking what could be the consequences of what is playing out in Imo State. So, hello, who am I speaking to? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, my is okay. This is John.
Yes, John, have you paid your tithe? The previous caller put me on. I want to start quoting scripture now. So go ahead.
So, what I'm trying to say is out of what you are saying now. You understand? I'm trying to. I just want you to correct me on something.
If it's something that I can, why not? But if I go ahead, shoot.
It's not about all these things that is happening in Nigeria. You understand? It's Goodluck Jonathan that put us in all these things. Is he not aware of what is happening? I haven't seen him tweet or make a public speech. You understand? I don't know if you are getting my point.
I get your point now. So, what do you want Jonathan to do now?
But he's supposed to come out and make a speech. You understand? To talk to to talk to us. Because
why will he talk to you? Is he a president?
Well, he is the ex-president.
Now, so he's no longer.
He's one of the people that is supposed to correct all these things that is going on in Nigeria.
Mm-hmm.
Look at Joe Biden. The thing that happened in Afghanistan. Trump make a speech. I haven't seen Goodluck Jonathan make a speech in all this thing that is going on. He put us into all this problem that we're going through. He's supposed to make a speech. And if Buhari don't want to listen to him, then he lead a protest. All these things will stop.
Okay, governance doesn't work that way. You see, you and I, because we are, we can always say our mind, but there is one thing with leadership that we have to know, that at certain levels in leadership is no longer about protests, every small thing you carry placards, no, there are other channels of engagement, I put it that way. Anyway,
I listened to your other analysis based on that naval officer. When you come to think of it, all this has happened, you understand, it's part of Goodluck Jonathan's government. Because I could remember when I read on newspaper, they said Buhari is also the one sponsoring all this Bukhara. Goodluck Jonathan, he didn't make any speech on it. Now this naval officer has come out and said something. Let Goodluck Jonathan also make a speech on it.
It's Goodluck Jonathan is listen. You know what? I think I have an answer to your question. Okay. And the answer to your question is I'll probably have to invite somebody to answer your question. Okay, so stay tuned. I'll invite someone to answer your question. Thank you very much. So who am I speaking to? Who am I speaking to? Please, if you're calling me, ensure you dropped. If you're calling me, ensure you do not allow your system to come in because it gives feedback. So who am I speaking to? Please remove the equipment you're using in listening to me, please. Shut it down, please.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, good evening.
Good evening. God bless you for a good job you are doing for us over there. My name is Chimen Namdi. My brother, I sincerely pray and hope we didn't get to a point where Imo State will separate away from other states. It will be history that will be very, very difficult to cleanse. The truth of the matter is that
Sir, are you? Let me declare your interest. Are you from Imo State?
No, I am from Enugu State. Whatever affected Imo
Okay.
affects me.
No, I know the reason why I asked you so that we know. Go ahead.
Okay. I really don't know what is happening to us because that Igbo Queen, yes, I really don't know what is happening to it. Why are we like this? The people we elected, we thought they have acquired more than enough money.
But somebody said you didn't. Somebody argued in the comment section that you didn't elect the Imo State governor. So why? What are you expecting?
Even if you didn't elect him, where is his conscience?
Well, you have moved to the realm of morality. So so where is his conscience?
Because when David decided to count the Israelites, he didn't consult the people. But when the calamity came, it affected the people.
Another quotation.
Whatever this man led these people into will affect every one of them.
Another biblical quotation again. Now, now today, una go night vigil. Everybody is quoting, and now somebody on the comment section is saying the only scripture I quoted is on tithe, and even the tithe I know see. Anyway, thank you very much for calling. The bottom line is that I put something on the screen. I will explain shortly. Thank you very much for calling. So you see, you look at, after I said this thing, I started thinking about it, because in strategy, one of the things we should be able to do is to play scenarios. If A happens, this happens, just like the way you play chess. So what's going to be the issue now if Imo State by next week does not do the needful? And I'm looking at, let's say the red area is not, the red area on the left is northwest, the light blue area on the right is some part middle belt, some part northeast. And the blue area in the middle is the middle belt, and the southeast is the brown area that is covered by the lighter green, which is the Niger Delta. Now, from strategic point of view, the outer shell here, that's the whole of Niger Delta, is covered by river. So that means there is no way cows can go and cows can come from there. It means that cows can only come from where? Once they go from either northeast or northwest and they come into the middle belt here, there are only points of entry. One point of entry on your extreme right is Cross River, and that Cross River is bordered by Ebonyi State. You can see that here. So assuming that Cross River has a law of anti-open graze, you see between the top here and the top on the brown is Enugu, and you move to your left is Anambra, and you move to the other side still, you have partly okay, you have Enugu and you have Anambra, then you have river again. That means if Enugu, Anambra, and Ebonyi is actually sealed off, it shields Imo State and Abia State, because you can't get into Abia without passing through either Ebonyi or passing through Enugu State if you're coming from the northern flank of the country. I mean, I'm only thinking strategically here, worst case scenario. But here we are. Hopefully we wouldn't be needing the strategy of worst case scenario. How do you plan? Hopefully we will only be on the realm of okay, apply small pressure and something caves in and they do what every other person has done. So sadly I had a call before But obviously you can call back because I was just trying to explain this. That's a +31. Then +31 should be okay. +31 is it? No, +33 is France. 31 is it Swiss? No, Swiss is 4-1. I don't even know. Okay. No, people, calm down. You cannot be calling people clown here, please. Please. If not for anything, I want us to be much respectful here. Yeah, hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
Yeah,
Who am I?
my name is Chooks.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you for your wonderful work. I want my contribution to this open grazing law is I heard you saying they can block them from shield them from getting into Imo State. But what if they transported the animals there and then start their open grazing there?
No. Sorry. Let's not misconstrue things, please. The law bans you from moving cow from north to south. So the moment you move your cows, let's say Sokoto or Adamawa or anywhere, by truck, and move it into Imo State, move it into Anambra State, the law does not say you will not sell cow. Let's get it right.
Exactly.
Okay, so the law says moving by foot, because that is when they damage farmland and atrocities occur with those men that tend to this cow. That obviously, when a man stays in the bush for that so long, congeality might come in, and that will lead to abnormalities in behavior and all the rest. Okay, so go ahead.
What about the states which their legislators didn't pass the legislation? What about the citizens of the states recalling those legislators?
Fair point.
That is another
Fair point. Fair point.
Another way for them to force them to do that, because this thing has been happening for so long that when we elect them, they get there, they will do nothing, and we're still happy, shopping for them. It is high time. I'm sorry to divert the attention a bit more, a little more. The petroleum industry bill the Buhari assented to. People who are angry, it's just being angry for nothing, because they have something to do democratically. If actually we all says this is not us, right? The best thing we should do is to recall those senators, recall everybody that is involved, and that is my take.
Thank you very much, and you have a fantastic take, and your take is honestly very well noted and very clean. So, hello, please turn off the set you're listening with. Please call back. So, one thing I was saying is that the last caller had a fantastic idea, because at the end of the day, if collectively people really want this law to be passed, what the people ought to do will be to mobilize and maybe start thinking of recalling, like Imo State, for instance, because it's not the job of the governor. Someone saying, "Oh, the governor controls them," I don't think is enough to say that. We must have to tell them that who is the boss. The governors didn't elect them. Remember, they ran on their own ticket. None of them actually, had anything to do with governor. Like Uche Ogbuagudem, the moment the governor won, they all now decamped back as usual. So people might actually begin to listen to. Yeah, hello, good evening. Who am I speaking to? Can you speak up properly, please? Your telephone is cracking.
I want to contribute. This is Wills, and I want to contribute to the program. I just felt that Imo State will comply by default. Can you listen to me?
We are listening. Yes, go ahead.
Yes, I feel that if Imo State government fails to comply with the I believe they will comply by default because the bordering states, if they comply with the laws, I don't think there will be access to Imo State. Yeah, those cows will not go into Imo State because if there's no vehicles that can pull these things to Imo State, I don't think it's going to be possible for them to, have the grazing unless it's going to be within the cattle that are already inside Imo State. That's the one that I think, otherwise I don't think it's going to work for them because by virtue of the law that has been passed within the states, within the zone, it's easier for Uzodimma of a man to, he has to comply whether he signs the law or not. That's the way I see it.
Yeah, of course, obviously you're right, but someone is asking in the Anthony Prayer Nidika says, are you making excuses for Imo State on anti-open grazing in southern Nigeria? But again, I don't think that's making an excuse, but I think that's applying simple logic. But it is the way I look at it in the larger scheme of things is the statement made in to Okonkwo and in Things Fall Apart, where it was said, "Do not bear hand in killing that child that calls me father." So in this case, let this person not be, let this not be the weakest link within that chain of circle. Thank you very much for your call. Thank you. So, Chris Ray says, grant me interview in Njenje Media. Who are you? I don't know. People. So, if you want me to speak to you, you can write me an email either at mazezoke@gmail.com or you send an email to Njenje Media. So we'll take it from there. Let's know what you're talking about, okay? And what you have to say. I mean, I would want CNN to grant me an interview, but the question is, what message and what am I bringing to the table? Okay. So people, at the end of the day, I think we have to, keep fingers crossed and see who will be in the who will be making that decision by next week. It's only on Wednesday, it's only by Wednesday that we will start knowing who is going to be the Judas. That is, or rather, which state is going to be the Judas that would betray the whole of the South. Again, like Okonkwo was told about Ikemefuna, eventually came to pass. Let no one be the Judas that would betray Jesus in this case and context. Jesus here is the whole of the South. That is the southern flank. Again, it's more, I can't imagine, honestly, it's just that sometimes things happen, you wonder how we think. I can't imagine even Benue, even Taraba, even Kogi, even Kwara. These are states that for sure they are not north, as in north. But when you hear anything Northern Governors Forum, I have never seen even the autumn that runs and says they are killing us, they are doing this, they are doing. Even Autumn himself cannot even go against that collective decision. Neither will the young man, presidential ambitious man in Kogi. Neither will he do so. but sadly in the South, that is trying to turn out so. So who am I speaking to? I'm rounding up now. Who am I speaking to? Hello, who am I speaking to?
You're speaking to Anthony Priyenikade. The name is Anthony Priyenikade. I'm a German from Bayelsa State.
Oh, thank you very much.
To come to that pronunciation right, please. Anthony Priyenikade.
Okay, so but is that do you have any other contribution to make? Anthony Priyenikade. Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, Mbana. While I see, because a lot of people were saying if you follow the social media trend after the Southern governors held the line on open grazing, a lot of people were saying that line will the line will the line will be broken from the southeast, and I spent a lot of time arguing that it's not going to happen, and surprisingly, it has happened.
No. Sorry, no. It hasn't happened. It hasn't, because even the South. No. It hasn't happened. We can only say that it has happened from the 2nd of September. Okay, so
the governor of the state gave a speech to that effect.
Well, the governor, exactly. The governor, that's what I've been trying to explain here. The governor does not make laws. It is only when those saddled with the responsibilities to make laws for the state, when they fail to do so by Thursday next week, can we then say clearly that they have failed. I want to take it that the governor is talking as an executive person, that he signed MOU. He can do that. That is within his remit. But when it comes to making laws for the state,
for the sake of progress, I'm going to agree with you with that. I also want to let you know that Bayelsa State passed their own law on the 10th of March on anti-open grazing.
Well done, Bayelsa.
You made mention to that.
Yeah.
You made mention about Rivers State or Bayelsa State did. I think Delta State is also almost at the teaching end of passing their own law as well. Anyway, thank you very much for taking my call.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Anthony. Thanks. So I think people, that's the much I can take. But the bottom line here is, let's not get into finger pointing at this stage. Wait until the deed has been done. Wallahi, so many people are still calling. Let me take this out as exception. Yeah, hello, good evening. Who am I speaking to? Please, when you call, turn down the volume of your TV set or the mobile phone, the handy that you're using and listening, please. You're not listening to that handy. We are speaking like a telephone call, please. Now, I repeat, good evening. Who am I speaking to?
Yeah, good evening. Here is Obi from Hamburg.
Schönen guten Abend.
Guten Abend. Wie geht's dir?
Mir geht's gut und dir?
Ja, super. Danke. I like your program. What I want to contribute is the governor Uzodimma is not the problem. The problem is the citizens, because we give him the mandate. We allow him, because I heard the way he was posting that everybody's afraid of him. So I'm thinking, who is him that the people is afraid of him? If the masses can come together and take him down. Because the masses are the people that voted him in. And now he's now bigger than everybody. That's why he can boast that everybody's afraid of him.
Did you vote for Hope Uzodimma?
We did not vote for him. That's
hold on now. You didn't vote for him. So how do you?
I'm not from Imo State anyway, but I'm not happy for what is happening over there.
Oh, okay. But I think the Imo people I know said they didn't give him mandate. So
they didn't give him mandate, but they just keep quiet, allow him to do whatever he wants, get away with anything he do.
I think, like I said before, for the top time, I think the anger should be channeled to the people in the assembly. Someone called here and made suggestion of attempting to recall them if they do not do the needful. And I think that's a very reasonable line of thought. Because at the end of the day, as long as we have docile citizens, they will get away with whatever they're trying to do. So violence does not need to be involved. Recalling somebody is not a violent approach. It is a civil, constitutional means of registering your anger when you are angry about something that someone whom you have given the legitimacy to represent you fails to do so. Yeah.
I think at the situation now, I don't think the current person can work in Nigeria.
So what do you think will work?
Because the language they understand is violent.
No,
without violence, they cannot come down from there.
On this, no. On this platform, we don't support and we don't preach violence. There must be a legal, legitimate means of getting this thing sorted out. Because yeah, but I just said it now. That's a suggestion made here. You recall, listen. You see, part of the thing that we must learn as a people is not to be too quick in a hurry in terms of getting processes work. Because if saying this, it brings me back to 1966, why we suffer the things. The malarias we should have suffered in the 60s and 70s, we are suffering them in the year 2000 and beyond, is because at some point, those at that point thought they were in the military, they wanted things quick, and they engaged in some things that really has taken us back. We can walk away from that. That's my approach.
The legal processes doesn't work in Nigeria.
No, forget it. Listen, people still, sorry, that's an illusion. It does. The only thing is, it might take time.
It doesn't. It was legal processes they bring the part of Uzodimma in the power.
Let's not.
1969, it was the same legal processes. Aburi Accord in Ghana.
You're not informed in that sense. Hold on. You cannot jump. You look at sequence of things. What my reference was not about Aburi. Aburi was when things already damaged. My reference was 1966, the coup of January that removed an elected government. If that coup did not happen, Nigeria would have learned in processes. And the caliber of people that you would have had would have been an improvement, not the caliber of those that worked with Nedeko, removed the military, never believed that the military will hand over power, sat looking. Suddenly we have cucumbers and carrots jumping in 1999, took over the whole space. Now they have amassed so much wealth and they become so monstrous that we cannot even look at them now, because there is nothing you do, you cannot match them with ill-gotten wealth that they have stolen. Thank you very much for your time. From Ndimo, a lot of conversation is going on, not for public consumption now, until when we now find out what is eventually played out when the roll call is done.
If what we said can work, why don't they call Uzodimma out?
Again, it is left for the Aga. I said again, if the people decide you need the critical mass. Remember, in this country, there was a time, even when ill-advised, the people of Kogi tried recalling Senator Dino Melaye, but they failed. But they tried it. So, you see, listen, we must walk away from this thinking.
That's why I said that legal processes doesn't work in Nigeria.
Anyway, thank you very.
They don't know what is legal processes. They hear what they hear. They listen is action.
Okay, so when you can go and take the action, then I believe in legal processes. So let's each engage in what they believe in. Thank you very much for being a wonderful contributor this evening. Thank you. So again, people, on that note, I will say Uzodimma should be recalled. Oh dear. Anyway, on that note, I would say thank you very much for being part of that. You see, listen, things there were people who didn't like what's it called, the former U.S. President Donald Trump. Whether you like him or you don't like him, you need to go through the process. You cannot, because you don't like Donald Trump, then you go say he's violent because things take time. He's violent, you go and do what? You see, we have seen what happened in the Capitol and where it has led America. Therefore, go through the legal process. People have done that. They tried it to remove the former president. He failed. Even the second time, at least there was an impeachment process. Has anybody sat, if the people of Imo State are so dissatisfied with Uzodimma, has anybody ever thought about, okay, let us mobilize and demand that one person in the house, even if it's just moving that motion alone, to say we want Uzodimma impeached? So at the end of the day, let's honestly, people, we will have to walk away from the process that brought us where we are, because I so much believe that for me, it was an error to have done the 1966 coup, which cascaded and now snowballed into eventually having people who have absolute nothing. Absolute nothing. Look at the caliber of senators we had in the First Republic. Look at the caliber of senators we had in the Second Republic. Now suddenly we have people of no known means. All they just do, everybody with big butt, tummy belly, pushing everywhere, coming in and just talking absolute nonsense and jargon. Now here we have mess. Eventually we are now like the two knives in a widow's house. The one with head is not sharp. The one that is sharp has no head. So how can you, in this mess now, want to go and remove, someone now? I've actually finished. Hello, but that's hello.
Hello, Mazes. Okay. Sorry, you finished?
Yeah, just go ahead. The last one. Go ahead.
Basically, I've been following what you're saying as regards to the open grazing issue in Imo State, with the comment that the governor of Imo State, Mr. Uzodimma, said as regards to Imo State. Well, the comment he made was actually that he says, he used the word I, does not have any or do not have any.
No, I have not, I do not have any. Again, that's what I explained, that I do not have can be missing, can be interpreted to I have not seen any. Now, in that, the only way you can invalidate that use of first person singular, the only way you can invalidate that is for the assemblies in Imo State. By Monday, give him, say, we have passed this, Oga, it is your turn to sign. If they don't do that, that means they are part of the conspiracy. There is no two ways about that. If they don't do that, they are part of the conspiracy.
Yeah, I think, you're very right. So what needs to be done before anyone will begin to, interpret what it actually means is until when the laws are made available to him, then if he fails to implement that, then at that point he can be held responsible. That is not to say that, obviously, he is for it because, well, as so many people would assume based on the way he came into power, that he would tend to, fall to some side on this particular issue. But I think once the law is made available to him and he fails to implement that, then people can then, talk about what we're talking about now. But before then, let's give him the benefit of the doubt and see what the situation is.
Exactly. But again, I can't say this enough because we need to, because people think, I want to read the comments. I'm saying you are siding the governors. I'm like, you guys are just, listen, when we are talking here, listen with open mind, not with, people just coming with conceived notion. No one is supporting, and I haven't seen anyone supporting the governor, but you need to put things in context. If the governor is saying he hasn't got this, the only way you can make him you can wash your hands off the mess is to saying, Oga, this is the open grazing. It's just like if everybody's talking about PIB, Buhari will tell you, I haven't seen any PIB bill, right? Until the assembly does their part, brings the PIB on his table. Would they, if you now tell them, you've been in the Senate for 2 years now, we haven't seen PIB, or say, it's not within us, we have submitted it to the president, just like what happened last year, in the last election. The Electoral Act was amended, submitted to the president. The president did not pass it with flimsy excuses. Then the senators, then under Saraki, could say, we did our best, we submitted it to the president. If you want anyone to blame, not us, go blame the president who did not assent to that. That is very simple. And, stating that fact does not mean I support Buhari or that I support Saraki. No, it's a statement of fact and how things should be done. Thank you very much for your contribution. So now I just need to take, the call now. The telephone line is closed. Now the call now is, my point here is to take some of the comments, because I think some of us do not understand, see, listen, people, when I think some of us are taking offense where I said, no, this platform is not for preaching violence. And I read comments here, and some of you are like, oh, you are now talking from both sides of the mouth, that you are not supporting violence. What do you mean by supporting violence, please? You cannot sit in the diaspora and telling people, oh, because of the governor doesn't pass anti-grazing bill, then go and engage in violence. Please, okay, what manner of individual are you? If you so much believe in violence, leave your comfort zone, come to Nigeria and go and lead it. Come here, we are here, come. We'll just go and lead it. It is not, listen, I will never be a proponent of what I cannot support. Anything that I say here, I support here, I'll walk the talk. I will get engaged. Let my state not pass, and we will see what we will do. So that is it. Everybody to your tent, you go back and let's get engaged. And people are here saying, oh, we won't, you don't support violence, you don't support. So what do you, so to you, if the governor doesn't do that, you do not think what is the strategic thing you have to do? How can you engage? And you want to just go and burn something. Maybe your own portion of action is to go and burn something. Come on. We're not barbarians. There was one thing Erufai said something. It's a long time ago. He said after staying in the UK, he understood why people do not engage in riots in certain areas. That when people own properties, when they are builders, they don't destroy. But it's only when people have nothing to, virtually nothing, the whole street, they own nothing, not even a biro. So it's everything. It's, oh, come, let's go and burn it, You saying engage in violence, would you, if somebody is talking about you destroying your house wherever you live in the diaspora, would you be happy? That's not the way to do things. 1966 was wrong. Wake me up tomorrow. Haven't read it, haven't researched it, haven't written thesis on it. It is wrong till tomorrow. It was, to me, I believe that is the problem that is still holding us down. Because those teething problems, yes, whenever you have a new set of people, of course. What we actually inherited in 1966 was a bunch of, the British were doing it this way. Now we came in. We just basically mere change of appendages. They needed time to learn the rope, localize the concept. So by now, if the military incursion did not happen in 1966, if the military incursion did not happen at all in Nigeria, by now, over 50 years, we would have gone very, very far. The things that led us to look at the Williamson Commission that even talked about the middle, carving Nigeria into middle belt, blah blah blah, and the British said, oh, we could no longer do it because of independence, but let the new government do it. Awolowo and Zik, then they had, these discussions on how to even go ahead and eventually implement. Part of the implementation of it is what eventually led to the creation of the Midwest region. That is a legal process of doing things. The people at some point were asked, do you want Urobo, these Ishekiri, these regions to come together and form the Midwest region? And they all agreed to form the Midwest region. That's legal. Now, if Hope Uzodimma is not doing anything, somebody's here, oh, you get you take action. I don't like it when we honestly, anywhere you come online, people are saying people are talking, no one is taking action. What is action? Action is violence. That's what you are insinuating. If you are not willing to go and lead from the front on your action, then stop chatting about action. What works? Abaribe has said it many times. That is democracy. He says the president is incompetent. The Senate president asked him withdraw that. He said, no, my people, the people he represents, says the president is incompetent. He says, I want the president to be impeached. They shut him down. Now, what will you do? So because he was asked that he was out of order, then you go and carry gun and shoot everybody because Abaribe was shut down. Come on. Don't you follow proceedings in other countries? Even Donald Trump, even when he was clearly calling out, supporting the invasion of Capitol by his own action and his demur, by his own action, a second impeachment proceedings went on. That is democracy. That is doing things in a legal way. So because you don't like the head of your kinsman, because he does something, you now go there, you go to the meeting, rather than say, okay, let us move a vote of no confidence and remove the chairman of our kindred. So because you want action, you go and start boxing, carry bottle and begin to break people's. No, come on now. We're not in a primitive this thing, you know. So I can see that Yinka is saying leave Trump out of it. Yeah. You see, trumpeters. I neither support the grandpa, as some of you call him Sleepy Joe, or do I support Donald Trump? But I think even Sleepy Joe is better than Donald Trump. So Yinka, over to you. So, and and again, Mazi, not all actions are violence. Exactly. What did I say? By next week, I expect. I mean, do you want me to spell everything out for you guys? I said by next week, Wednesday, if this thing does not happen, I expect people in their states. Do you know that recalling somebody is a protest? So protest is not only when you block road, you start burning tires. No. Say you want to recall, so it has happened here, so you want to recall somebody. It is a protest on its own. So let's not leave this thing for the governors. For me, the governors can only, because every other thing is speculation. If we say, oh, the governors control the Imo State House of Assembly, how? So Imo State House of Assembly is every member, every one of them is APC. Every one of them was put in by Hope Uzodimma. Listen, these were the same people that worked with Ihedioha until the Supreme Court did its own abracadabra, and the fourth became the first. When aeroplanes stopped flying, and aeroplane and its occupant were pushed, aeroplane and its occupant started driving, and they drove into Owerri. The rest is history. In all this, we now want. So what do? If you do violence, have you removed him? Nigerian army is there looking for who to shoot. Come on, let's engage our number 6 people. On that note, I'll say, Pansat say, how do I get hold of you? My number is scrolling there, is +2347080042208. So that's how you can get me, or you can drop me an email at mazezoke@gmail.com. That's a Pansat HD. That's how you can get hold of me. Let me take some more answers, because I think, questions, because I think they are very, some of them are really interesting. Yinka is now laughing. Yinka, you and your Trump. Don't worry, Trump will come at the age of 92 and be the president of America again. Mazi, not all okay, I've taken that. Guys, engage positively, make your point constructively. Don't say things without thinking critically of what you're contributing to the discussion. Thank you, Kenry Bar. That's a very fantastic contribution, Kenry. I think, sadly, my people sometimes, one thing I have found out, especially within the realm of social media, is that people make comments honestly without thinking it through. Just for comment's sake. But if you actually think it through, you find out that one of the things that help you make informed or make better comments or contributions is you look at the practicability of it. How practical could that get? Is it within the ambit of the law? No one. If you say on Thursday we want to protest that, let's just hypothetically speaking, we want to protest that Imo State, you're not protesting against the governor because he hasn't gotten there. I want to keep reminding us this so that we'll get the sequence right. We're not protesting against the governor because there is nothing. We didn't see any MOU. The MOU doesn't concern us. What concerns us is the anti-open grazing bill that was agreed in Delta State, in Asaba, that the 17 governors have to do. That 17 states, not the governors. Yes, the executive went in there, but the duty, that job, will be done by the legislatures. Question is, as it approaches this, last week, we actually held a meeting over the weekend on the anti-open grazing bill, and people here made presentations. Conversations has been going on since then. So equally, even within some states, these things I know. But when I say I do not want to talk about it, as to what next or anything, because now it will be premature for me to say, oh, Imo State hasn't done anything. No. Whether they do, I pretend I didn't know what the governor said until we get to Wednesday. So Wednesday, I believe that the Southern governors will meet sometime next week, or maybe, I don't know, but at least to reaffirm and now say these are the states. Have you asked yourself, don't you think that the governors themselves can do something, even without you and I? So you think the governors will be, they are 17, maybe they come next week Wednesday, only 15 states or 16 states passed it. So do you think they will just go and shake all of them, say, yeah, you've done well by betraying us, by not doing, the assemblies, not doing the needful? You think some of the governors in the APC are actually happy to not find a way to stop the assemblies and doing the needful? You think? No, there comes a time the public interest overwhelms whatever sentiment the person or the people at the helm of affairs, whatever their leaning is, it overwhelms it, and this is one of them. Because this anti-open grazing law, I give it to you by free of charge, is capable of escalating maybe violence. It's also capable of even getting to a point that you see that the people will legally begin to do the unthinkable. Now, imagine 15 states passed this. The 15 states somehow have peace, no longer have cows moving on the street. And one day, people wake up and see the actions or the type of things that happened in Jos, happen in the state that has not passed this? Think for 1 second, what do you think will be in the minds of the people, the assemblymen? Again, I ignore the governor of whichever state that it is, because the governor is not within him to pass this law. All he needs is the state assembly has done the needful. He needs to only sign the law. That's what the governor, like the president, does with the federal government. The governor does same on the state level. People, that's what I am saying. Okay. Buhari and Uzodimma is like, in the light will not even see the light of the day in public office. Rootless. Again, Sylvia Edo is saying the same thing, that if we had allowed competence, if the military incursion of 1966 didn't happen, probably by now we would see real competent leaders in the folks of Awolowo, in the ranks of M.I. Abaradem. When men of timber and caliber, I give that to Desam back when, when people with sound reasoning held swear. Mazi is sounding like somebody about to join APC, including. Okay, before I do, I think I will go and maybe steal 50 or 100 billion. So by the time I do, something like this will then happen. So the moment you hear I've done the needful, then this will be what we are going.
Tony, Ilwobe means I don't do bad. And in fact, once you have joined APC, all your sins are forgiven. Once you have joined APC, all your sins are forgiven. All your sins are forgiven. All your sins are forgiven.
So that's where I will leave it. Again, Pansat. Okay, so if maybe when I steal 500 trillion, so I want to share with them, I have 15 private jets, and I will go in so that my sins will be forgiven. Oh dear. Stanley just said, I swear. Hold on, let me take this. Mazi, do understand the existence of due process. However, due process in Nigeria contest amount to nothing. Again, I disagree. It takes time. Due process in Nigeria doesn't amount to nothing. It takes time. I remember during the time around 2003 when Peter Obi contested the election. The election was taken away from him. He went to court. At some point, everyone told him, nah, this is Nigeria. It has never happened. But in his doggedness, he went to court. He stayed. Eventually, he won his case. Now, in the same place we say things don't work, I think if the figures, if the figures are right, I think eventually the Anambra State Government House was burnt. I can't remember the exact figures, but for argument's sake, I think after burning it by the Oba family, to reconstruct the Anambra State Government House, I think was about 300 and something million, I believe. But if he does it with direct labor, it will be about like 10% of the amount that was quoted. He did it. Now, this is Nigeria again. He was impeached. Why? Because he saved money for his state. So when he was impeached, what then happened? He went to court again. At that point, people can say, no, court, due process doesn't work in Nigeria. You know why please keep, because all of us, myself included, because we're always in a hurry. Please stop. This is okay. Take. Let's go. But if somebody really want to be silly, if you really want to make your case, you can go to. I've had lawyer friends who, because they are not paying anyone, they've made cases. Even someone sued FRCN that I think they were not supposed to ask all these things that they ask or whatever. He got, he got a judgment against Federal Safety Commission because he took it up. That we are not trying something does not mean, not for 1 second am I sitting here naively saying that, oh, Nigeria works. No, Nigeria does not work the way we would wish that it worked. Nigerian processes does not work the way we would have wished that it does. But to say that it does not absolutely nothing is also not correct and probably a little bit unfair. That's my point. So again, someone saying, Mazi, please understand. Yeah, I think that's my honest take on that. Who again? I swear down, this guy, okay. I swear down, this guy is just a double-edged sword. He's full of support of APC government. My first time in your program, and you're like this. Wow. Thank you very much. I believe it's either you came very late. I'll pardon you, or rather I will say, well, it's your first time. One thing for sure that I do not do is I stick with facts and my conscience. My conscience is very clear, my dear brother Stanley Moore, that the governor of Imo State, I started, again I repeat, in case you didn't come in early, I found what he said really upsetting. However, getting angry at the governor will be getting angry at the wrong person, because he was actually speaking on matters that does not concern him, which is lawmaking. So, Stanley, if you understand what it takes to make law in states, federal assemblies, you would understand that it is not the duties of the executive. It is the duties of the legislatures. If there is no takeaway from this evening, please know that basic fact. Because if you understand this and begin to put it side by side by my argument, you know what I'm only advocating is, why get angry at this hand? Whereas this hand only needs this pen. This hand needs this paper to sign this. Whereas this hand that's supposed to write it hasn't. And I'm getting angry with this hand. Oh, you haven't signed it, you haven't signed it. That's my argument. Get angry at this hand first until this hand does the needful. Writes, debates, do whatever, because the debate has to be done here, the writing has to be done here, the redrafting has to be done here, the drafting has to be done here, the fine-tuning, first reading, second reading, public hearing, blah, 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 has to happen here. Until they have done this, and this is, governor is only one person, but these people are about 20 or 20 something, right? Between 14 and 20. So until they have done what they ought to do, and then pass it to this hand, getting angry at this hand is exercising futility. You see, the governor actually, if you see what he said he signed MOU. That MOU amounts to absolute nothing. There are communities and the states that signed MOU with headsmen, this, that, yet tomorrow headsmen will come, eat crops. So the MOU amounts to absolute nothing. The cocoa of the matter and the solution is the state assembly must first of all do their bit. It's only when they have done their bit that you and I can now take the airwave, can now talk about actions we can take. What are those things we can take? or rather do? Is it protest? Is it threatening with impeachment? I mean, you cannot tell me that every single member in Imo State House of Assembly, if, for instance, they passed this law with their heart, again, caveat here, if they passed it with their heart for the love and the protection of their people, you think if that was done, that you wouldn't have one person that will muster the courage and say, Mr. Speaker, I move for the impeachment of the governor of Imo State. You think you wouldn't have, heaven will not fall if that happens. How many times have Abaribe said that in the National Assembly in Abuja? Has anything happened? The only thing they can do, others can shut you down, but at least it enters the proceeding book that Mazi is okay on so date in the State House of Assembly of Imo State or Anambra State or Ebonyi or Bayelsa said XYZ. It's that simple, people. So let's please drop, prejudgmental sentiment. I don't know, but honestly, I look at things practical. But again, everybody at the end of the day have their own way of looking at issues. But what I do is to, look at issues very, very dispassionately. Very, very dispassionately. That's what the people media do. Oh no, sorry. Okay, Benjamin Inowa says, Njenje Media TV, since you have a veritable platform, why not start a medium to recall officials that do not do what the people want? Okay. It's state by state. State by state. Now, you have NGOs that engage in such. What the conversation where the media comes in is you want to mobilize the people to sensitize them. Ring me. We'll have a conversation. Let me know. We'll have a conversation on that. The moment it gets to that point, yes, get in touch. Last week I said it, many of you watched it, it's still here on Njenje Media. We here debated anti-open grazing bill. I belong to that group that work on anti-open grazing bill. We look at the bills line by line, starting from Abia State and Benue State, using them as a template. Now, for many states, what many of you don't know is, once this is done, the states got these, these templates. What they now need to do is to either localize it, amend it. One thing that people have spent and burnt candles, spent their own time, sit down on their own butts for hours to think, is because of the importance we have attached to it. This. Because we're just basically having this discussion, you know how many man hours one has put in those bills to ensure that the lives of our people collectively are protected. So, my dear, please, if there is anything you can do, you can obviously, go ahead and do, if you wish, at the point that you need media engagement. Yes, come. I would engage you. I'll promote it pro bono for you. Pro bono. Put that caveat there. So why is it that because then I am having a conversation, then I will now go to Benue and champion open grazing. I will go to Abia and impeach governor. I will go to no, guy, they work like that. They work like that. They work like that. Sorry, people. Stanley Moore. I've always again. I would say subscribe to this channel, please. You will eventually understand. One thing people don't know is we've been here for so long. But one thing, not everybody would actually agree with what we say or the stance I take on issues. But you see, time, they say, heals a lot. Time, over time. You might get angry. Oh, some say he's sounding political correct, blah, blah, blah. I say, well, it's free. Open up a YouTube channel or Facebook. Say your own. My own is, we can always have conversation without, being vivacious and insulting. Yes, that's the stand of this platform. But if you want, call name, insult this person, insult the other one, kindly move to those platforms. Because here, Ihudike saw something, There are things we done. Because at the end of the day, what we want to do is to deepen conversation for every one of us to understand. So people, thank you very much. Thank you. Pansat HD says, Mazi, are you familiar with a gentleman called Chalabi of Iraq? No. I have nothing to do with Iraq, Iran, Afghanistan, and all the Rani, and star. Okay? Speaking for yourself, he has been violating us. We have the right to respond in kind. That's from Mr. Walla. Says, speak for yourself. True, I'm speaking for myself on this platform. He has been violating us. Again, I have also registered my anger and my disgust on most of the things that has happened in that state. And you concluded by saying we have the right to respond in kind. Again, you have the right to respond however you want to respond. And the person you are responding to also have the right to respond however he wants to respond to you as well. Okay. So my people, hello, I have seen insults flying on this platform often. Yes, OC Equem, we can, you see, there's one thing I believe in. It's just like with children, over time, consistency, teaching them things, people will learn. All of us, myself included, will learn, unlearn, relearn. So, we all would not be acting the same way. In every family, there is need to have a madman. Because why Mazezoke will be saying, now wow, the way you just talk to me now, I don't like it. And I'll keep quiet or I'll move away. Another person will say, so you are still there talking this thing, and go and carry a plank or carry 4x4, and everybody will be running helter-skelter. You see? So, but it doesn't mean that everybody has to be mad. It doesn't mean that everybody has to now be like some of us who obviously, not wanting to engage in violence, so to say. But my only advice to anyone trying to, promoting violence in any way, shape, or form is, do not, for 1 minute, use others for your violence. Use others as cannon folders. Go, if you so much believe in that methodology, go use it. Me, any methodology I believe in is what I'm engaging in. And sadly, have no apology. It might take time. But we are working on it. It will definitely, no doubt about it, it will definitely come to pass. And it will definitely work. Oh dear, I understand now. Thanks for addressing my question. Thank you. Okay. Give me an example. Sunni Muslim coexist with another religion. You go. Don't fall to give us an example. Honestly, I do not understand. Give me an example where Sunni Muslims coexisted with another religion before you go. I'm not a religious, bibliographer, as some people will say. And my conversation this evening is not centered on religion. if it's something that this platform may wish to pursue, we might wish to invite speakers who are more knowledgeable on that can, if need be, quote those books front and back, and probably to help us either understand or have a deepened understanding of what is happening. So here it says, Mazi, there are two problems in Nigeria. One problem is federal government of Nigeria, and the second one is the Fulani headsmen and intents of that cow are not federal government business, but for personal. So they okay. Whether na the white something and they drink and they make me, I know they read again. I've been at your writing. This one tire me. Okay. For personal, so the stop open grazing must, especially south and southeast, so that peace will come to the east. Well, that's what we are talking about. Eventually, hopefully, it will be stopped. Give us an example where it worked. Listen, maybe I don't even understand what the Pansat is driving at. So, Pansat, maybe you give us example of what you mean, because me, I don't know. I don't know Sunni. I don't know Muslim. All I know is Muslim. Whichever one is Sunni and whichever that it is, I don't know. But all I know is whichever religion that it is, my perception on religion, whether these or the other one, it should be a discussion for another day. Okay. So thank you very much once more for joining me. We will keep, if you guys wish to, I will be joining another meeting on Clubhouse now, and that meeting on Clubhouse will be streamed. So if you wish to stay around, and that conversation is centered around the issues, the things that happened in Middle Belt, and the discussions will be around how the Southern and Middle Belt Alliance are going to respond. David said, Mazi Ezekiel, you are a coward because you live in Nigeria. Huh? Why are you fighting Mazi Ezekiel or Mr. Ezekiel? Guys, calm down. Whether you live in Nigeria, how does living in Nigeria make someone a coward? I don't understand. But again, it appears for the last 2 hours, maybe because it's a hangout. You see, Barakboism happens a lot in hangouts. So maybe because it's a hangout, some of us have the things, the Hennessy's and other stuff. It appears they have gauged. So the conversation will be, conversation will be like this now.
Our economic is doing like this. It's doing like this. It's blinking, shaking, blinking, shaking. So.
That note, thank you everyone for joining me this evening, because we are now in the past. Next week we'll be in the party.
You will be a past participant. Yeah. Hey! Ebu agomia. One day we go me. Say yesterday you are a past. So very soon you shall be past. Party. One day. Say tickle. One nana so ibane ebuli. On a meko.
If you're doubting it, people saying you want to be vivacious. If you want what happened to Channels TV reporters to happen, or maybe for DSS to jump your fence the way they jumped Barry Stage, your first fence, at the end of the day, listen, people, Apply number 6. Apply. See, these are things. There is nothing here that we don't say. We say these things, but maybe you might not like the way we say them. But at the end of the day, it will be said, because it's a matter of how you say things and how things come across. Okay. Now I am going to go because I'm losing weight. I'm working very hard. If you doubt, let me ask Buhari. Because you see, I've lost weight, so I'm really working.
Are we likely to see a different approach in the fight against insecurity, especially kidnapping, which is a big issue now, sir?
No, I have just seen the IG. I think he is still losing weight, so I think he is working very hard.
So, because I am working very hard, and when you work very hard, you lose weight. On that note, I will say thank you very much. And let me, before I leave you, I bring my good brother, Charlie Boy Oputa, to sign us off. Thank you and good night. You might just join the next stream. Thank you.
I represent and symbolize all the characteristics of a typical Igbo man. Yes, I've learned to be more Igbotic than I ever expected. As an Igbo man, I've perfected the act of being tenacious in any dream that I chase. To be industrious, be consistent, and powerfully focused. All the lessons I learned from the brothers in the tribe have made me dogged, hardworking, and exhibiting the ability and the capacity to survive in any kind of weather. Yes, I am an original Wafo.